Alright, welcome back to Last of Us Part 2, and in this part we're going to be busy because we're going to meet a new type of infected, the Stalkers, and we're going to finally be introduced to the Seraphites that we've been hearing about.
Yeah, I guess we technically do find out of it while playing as Ellie. It's just the only memorable parts where you deal with the Seraphites are when you're playing as that other player.
It boils down to this. They're an evil religious cult. That's all they are. That's
And
it.
like I said, the story really does more with them when you play as the other playable character.
We already know who it is, Joe. You don't have to hide the name.
Yeah, I think we've actually already said, but
yeah, when you play as
who it is.
And even then, Joe, even if we didn't Joe, but this is right at the point where he doesn't even care anymore. So
well, look, it's not so much that I'm trying to be spoiler free on that because we've already seen ourselves playing as Abby. It's just that I don't even like bringing Abby up. She's just...
That's actually a fair point. That's actually a good point that I didn't bring it up before, but go ahead and finish your thought, though. Sorry.
Sure, you're an Undertale fan, so you'll get this. Abby is so the Jerry of all this.
Oh my god, she really is.
But Jova, the only reason you hate on Abby, according to the media at least, is because you're a virgin gamer who isn't comfortable with the idea of a muscular woman. You know, that's the problem. So
what if I told you that I wasn't a virgin? There goes your argument right out the door. There.
No, Jova, you're a gamer guy, so clearly you're a virgin.
I love how that article calls the people who don't like Abby virgins, as if that's supposed to be an insult somehow. That's
It's always been a stupid insult. Like seriously.
That'd be like saying, "Oh yeah, but you're just a short wearer."
Yeah, basically.
I mean, okay. Regardless of whether or not I'm a virgin, so what? So maybe I haven't found that special person in my life. Being a virgin is not an insult.
No. I'll get into that, Joe, but let me just stop you there. There you go. Those are the Stalkers. Like I said before, they're a middle point between runners and clickers. They only have only half their head in the mushroom phase. So they still have one eye, so they can still see, except they don't see it as well. Of course, go ahead.
No, Ellie, what do you say? You should be saying, "Need to find a way the fuck out of it."
Now here's the weird thing about Stalkers. They have a penchant for some reason running on all fours at times, as you just saw there.
My guess is...
I don't get why they do.
My guess is...
because of the lack of vision.
Not just that, Jova. My guess is the designers wanted to make sure they would move in a specific way that's different from the other infected, so to help separate them and make their attack patterns different. That's most likely. It's a gamey thing, basically.
So yeah. So whereas Shamblers were sort of an offshoot of, like, Bloaters, Stalkers are the in-between of runners and clickers here and there. Mm-hmm. They have the speed of runners and some of the dexterity of clickers. Not all the dexterity. They can still go down somewhat easier than a clicker, but they are arguably just as hard to take out of because of the combined attributes of the two in between of.
Not just that, they also have a thing where, unlike clickers and runners, they're not as noisy. In fact, they'll just stand around there. They'll just stand around and look at that. They'll run away from place to place.
They're just as scared as us as we are of them.
The thing is, they actually consciously go out of their way to not make noise and hide behind something, and as a result, they're harder to... There you go. And as a result, they're harder to see because you can't use the listen mode to find most of them sometimes, unless they move, of course. So it can be a pain to hunt these guys out because they'll hide like cowards until you're close to them, basically.
So once again, a case of the zombies becoming rather cunning. Like, okay.
I'll give it a pass in this case. I don't think that's it. I think this is just the instinct on them.
I think it's kind of weird with Stalkers though. Like, I mean, I wonder what okay, runners just sit around and cry until they hear you.
Notice how
clickers constantly make sound. I'm just wondering what makes it that the in-between of the two suddenly becomes more cunning and more sneaky. Like, I don't know. I just wonder why, like, based off of evolutionary train and all that.
I know, Joe, but it's one of those cases where the designers wanted them to behave differently to help, separate them from the other enemies. and this was
don't
what they
get me
came up
wrong. I
with.
mean,
It's one of those cases where the developers threw logic away for the purpose of gamey things, basically.
Let me put it like this. If they were like maybe, another offshoot of bloaters, I could maybe get them becoming more cunning because at that point the virus has evolved to that point. Keep in mind, apparently after you become a stalker, you become stupid again with a clicker. Because, well, not that clickers are the dumbest of them, but clickers are way easier to hunt than stalkers. Like, okay, I guess
it's
you
not
could
so much that they're
maybe...
dumb. It's more so that they've lost their mind, literally, basically.
I get that. I'm just going off of behavior and stuff here and there. Like, again, it's like they act this way, then they act this different way, then they pretty much go back to acting a similar way. Albeit, stalkers are slower.
When you become when you fully turn into a runner, the mind is the first thing to go, as we've seen from the first game. You basically become a wild animal, basically. Exactly. Thanks, dude, for proving my point.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just, I guess the stalker behavior feels weird when you, again, because it's supposed to go in between runner and clicker, it's a bit weird. If it were, say, after the clicker, okay, fine,
You see, this is exactly the thing that I'm talking about. Like, they'll hide in the shadows, where you can't hear or see them, and then they'll attack you when they notice an opening.
Now, all complaints aside, this is actually a pretty nice change of gameplay. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can be annoying, but it is something of an interesting change of pace with some zombies.
They're technically annoying, but it's one of those cases where it makes sense to have them be annoying because, they're considering the nature of them. It makes sense for... It's one of those cases where, well, yeah, that's kind of the whole idea. Like, you're hunting these things that are intentionally going out of their way to hide and only appear when you're vulnerable, basically.
And it does make sense that they would choose incredibly dark areas here and there because, it's a fungus, and fungus tends to thrive in dark, cool areas. Hence why they try and find the darkest place to go to die when they sputter out.
There's also... True, and there's also, of course, the fact that a lot of times it's doing buildings because, as you can see right there, when it's in a building with spores, the fungus will grow and grow and grow, and the more spores... There you go. I'm even looking at... There you go. See, Shiro, you can see the spores at the naked eye. And that's why it's very easy for them to know when they need to use a mask or not.
Can I have a time, please?
7:42, 43, 44.
All right, I'll try to go to 8.
All right.
8:05.
Okay, just wait a bit. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it with stalkers.
So yeah, there you go. Well, I do raise my...
All right, Shiro, get ready and click. Go ahead, Joe.
Right.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, while I do raise my eyebrow at the logistics of the behavior of stalkers in correlation to where they are on the evolutionary line of the cordyceps, they're a nice, interesting gameplay format. I mean, let's be honest, the zombies are quite possibly the best thing that have been upgraded for this game because aside from that, most stuff is pretty much same old combat-wise, especially with the humans, per se. Well, okay, aside from them screaming out their fellow man's names and the usage of the dogs.
Yeah. Like I said, like we've discussed, the primary improvement gameplay-wise, outside of enemies, of course, there you go. Outside of enemies was the movement with the crawling mode from Metal Gear and being able to jump, which allows for more vertical exploration.
Day 1 of the Diary of SCWRM comms. We have been trapped in this world for God knows how long. I've lost count at this point. So far, all we have seen on our travels is the boring adventures of boring people. Along with the only people that are boring are either dumb or annoying. And it just drives me nuts, man. I'd rather be killed by a zombie because at least it'd be done faster.
Sorry, Dweebs.
In short, it's not a good day.
Sorry, Dweebs, you can't die. You're out of vacation days.
Fuck these.
Well, first
guys.
off, it's not called vacation, damn it. It's a holiday. Get that for your
But,
zombie mind.
but yeah, going back to the earlier argument though, no, I totally agree. That's exactly the kind of insult that's so 90s and stupid. Like even the first American Pie made fun of that. Like it's just it's like these guys still live in the 90s, back when that was actually an insult you would hear in the playground. Like
It's
really.
worse because it's people in the industry. Like, grow up.
Not only that, but
No, Shiro, that's the thing, Shiro. According to them, you are the one that needs to grow up.
Not only that, but these people are supposedly trying to be anti-sexist, yet they're using one of the most toxically masculine kind of insults back then. Like, because, a virgin thing, that's mainly that's mainly an insult you'd hear amongst toxic masculinity, or hell, even toxic femininity, because, the whole being a virgin is used as an insult for both men and women, albeit in different ways, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's stupid either way. Like,
Yes.
Obviously.
Well, it's like I've always said. No matter how solid your argument is, if you feel like you have to use an insult against people, then either you're either one of three things: an arsehole, you're not at all confident in your argument, or a mix of two.
I don't think it's
that
quite.
Polygon.
I don't think that it's quite that black and white, Dwebs. Like, if you're making a good argument, like, let's say, for example, if someone tries to tell you that the Earth is cubic, and then you explain well and concisely why that making that statement is dumb and flat out, factually wrong, because. And then call someone a moron for saying it. I wouldn't argue it goes into that territory, because if someone says something moronic, what else am I supposed to say? There
are instances where you're having a conversation with somebody and it's clear that they're not there to actually have the conversation.
Exactly.
So you can just cuss them out, really.
Each case is a case, Dwebs.
I don't know. I've always thought that, if it's grown people using it, that makes it even worse, because they're acting like bloody children when they do that.
Joe, here's the thing.
I just think context is everything.
Exactly, Dubs. You're seeing it in this way where, now you're a full-grown adult, so never use insults in any situation ever in your life. I don't think
he's saying that exactly.
You might as well, though. Go ahead, Jova.
I think what Wibbs means is there's some arguments where, maybe the person you're arguing against you is an idiot. But, there comes a bout of... It depends on the situation. Like,
obviously,
some situations may call to, say, maybe just a blatant insult because he doesn't really deserve anything much more. However, it's often best to just try and come off as professional as possible more often than not. And for as annoying as it is, sometimes uttering that insult can kind of ruin any bout of professionality. Hell, that's kind of the main problem with gaming journalism in general. Like, they could get across their points better if they didn't stoop to those insults in the first place.
No, true. The problem, Jova, is that here's the problem. Here's the problem, though, Jova. There's a lot of people out there who, of course, will only actually, snap out of their stupor when you actually call them out on it, and that's the thing, the problem is.
Well, absolutely, call them out on it, but be professional about it.
If they're the ones being unprofessional, just let them be unprofessional. Let them ruin their own arguments.
Well, Dwebs, I guess you can do you and I can do me, because in my in the culture that I've grown up and still live in to this day, people are allowed to make arguments like those, and it's fine. And we're still here fine, and we've not descended into chaos. So I would argue that it's not that black and white as you're putting it. All right. In the meantime,
trying to make it black and white, but whatever.
So there's the hospital.
And so we continue our journey through a rather fitting grayscale background.
There you go.
The overall point is you have to basically just try and express yourself, yes, of course, but do it professionally so you won't get any
Jibs, not for nothing, but I have yet to see someone on the internet actually say, you know what? You didn't use any naughty words, therefore I will respect you. Like I don't understand where is that exactly
You
that.
haven't been to Twitter before.
Yes,
Oh,
but Pedro, if you'd have told me that before I discovered Twitter, I'd have believed you. But unfortunately,
Yes, Save. Sorry.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me that there's people on Twitter? Hold on, Joe. Let me answer that. So you're telling me? Keep in mind, audience, I don't have a Twitter account for reasons that I think that are incredibly obvious when you think about it. So you're telling me that there's a percentage of people on Twitter who will literally gain more respect for you just because you don't use insult words? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm okay. I have to admit, I'm surprised by that.
Pedro. Have you not heard of the infamous mentality here? It's okay to have uber violence, but God forsake you.
Oh, okay. So that it's the South Park joke, like Cosmom says. Horrific violence is okay as long as people don't say any naughty words. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Okay. I get it. Well, okay. Here's the thing, though. When Cosmom says that, she means curse words, not insults specifically.
Well, yeah.
Well, curse words are used as insults a lot of the time.
I don't know. Shit is usually just used when you're just saying, shit, I forgot about this. Like, it's not an insult.
Wait. I'm sorry. Where have you been? I've heard that word used.
No. I get that. Okay, yeah. Piece of shit can be used as an insult. It's true. However, people can also say the word shit in a context that's not insulting, like, oh shit, I forgot this. And Kyle's mom and people like that, and people that Trey and Matt are commenting on when they use her in episodes. Criticize you for even using that word in a way that's not insulting, and that's what I've always imagined when it comes to that thing. When it comes to what the ending of the South Park movie was talking about. So you're telling me that using shit, the word shit on Twitter in a non-insulting way is that generally okay on Twitter?
No, people swear on Twitter all the time. It's just when people choose to swear in arguments is when the issue comes in.
It seems that okay. Well, it depends. Okay, the whole swearing on arguments thing, that's also another thing that depends a lot on context and the specific situation. Because if you're having an argument with someone and then someone says, "Oh, come on, like you kidding me with that shit?" Like, that doesn't mean someone is insulting you when they say that. It just means that is feeling a bit frustrated. At worst, you can claim that he's insulting the argument, but insulting the argument is not an insult to the argumenter. That's a whole different thing. So again, it's very depending on context and and like I said, each case is a case. So it's one of those things where you have to evaluate it by case. But anyway,
pretty much.
Back to this.
There's a video game.
So tell me, Pedro, what was? Oh snap! Is that a bloater corpse?
Twitter politeness. I've learned something today at least.
Seriously, Pedro, was that a bloater corpse we passed?
Now you know.
No. It's there's been spores and for a long time here, so the spores eventually grow into fungus. It's the same shit we see in the first game. It's nothing.
No, I get that, but they literally looked like there was a bloater corpse at some point.
Well, remember, Jova, the bloater is just a human full of fungi, so the fungi is still technically the same. So of course, when you see a big fungi, it's going to look like a bloater.
Oh snap!
There you go. Here's an example of a stalker who is only one of the early stages. See, you'll see some of the bits in the head, but it's not even fungus. It's not even fungus shaped yet. The head. I mean, it's only growing some bits.
They're still very distinctly human looking for the most part.
So to the game's credit,
can swim to an extent.
So to the game's credit, they didn't just design one stalker model and call it a day. They did make different variations on stalkers.
I thought for a second, I thought she was gonna rip its heart out.
No.
I think she just stabbed it.
She stabbed the stalker, and that's it, basically.
Well, guess you could say this game has literally gone down the tube.
Level.
A sewer level in The Last of Us
Part
Part 2.
Well, technically we already had this in the first game, but don't worry, we won't be here for long anyway.
Basically, this game's gone down the tubes.
Not to mention,
Seattle, eh?
Not to mention this is not a platformer anyway, so it cannot partake in any of the typical sewer level trappings.
And there you are. They are the whole chapter summed up. Fuck Seattle.
Pedro, the whole sewer level trope thing, that is not contained to just platformers here. It's pretty much a thing across video games in general. Hell, sometimes even visual novels somehow
Oh,
manage to
Final
have that
Fantasy
trope.
VII Remake has a sewer level.
I like that sewer level, but
And that's an RPG.
well, again, it was in the original game anyway. But anyway,
I like the sewer level in the remake for the most part, but I do agree with some people it drags a bit. But whatever. We're here now. And
we are
It drags, just like Cloud's sword does along the ground.
not really, Dwebs. You see it from the back all the time in the remake. It doesn't touch the ground, so
It's why he always runs forward.
But even then, he'll be clanging. If he's in a very small space, he'll be clanging to the side every time as he runs.
I'm amazed it doesn't scrape the floor, to be honest.
Clang.
It doesn't scrape the floor because it's not big enough for that, Shiroi. Because in order to become a soldier, you obligate to be of a certain height and stature, to be able to use the weapon itself. There's also the fact that, like Theo explained to us in the remake.
Hold on. The Buster Sword's not a typical soldier weapon, though. It's
Well,
actually a family heirloom.
True. Sorry, never mind. You're right.
Remember, Pedro, we had an entire game teaching us the backstory of that sword.
Sure. I understand that. It's just that, like, it doesn't help that Zack and Cloud are the only two prominent soldiers.
Whoa, snap. He was literally sticking to the wall, just waiting
That
for
was
something.
actually rather creative use of hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that guy. That's one of the example of a guy who literally started going along with the fun guy in the wall. And when he saw, when I came close, he sniffed something, or at the very least, he sensed my presence, and he immediately jumped at me. So.
Hey, Dwibs. Part of the ship, part of the crew, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Jova, not for nothing, but I would like to be reminded of At World's End as least as possible, okay?
But you gotta admit, that's pretty much what that scene was.
Well, yeah, over and over again, like almost every other scene in that film. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that granted, that wasn't the only problem At World's End had. How about that bloody opening scene for a start?
I barely remember that movie.
I like the movie, but I won't deny it has quite a bit of problems here. I'd say it's
put it
overall...
this way, Shiroi. Do you like happy ending overrides?
Oh, okay.
I don't like overriding endings in general.
Okay,
Well,
but
you'll hate Pirates 3 and maybe
Unless it involves time
Pirates
travel
5
as
to
part
an
of the plot.
extent.
Okay. Pirates of the Caribbean 3. I like the movie, but I hate what they do with the Black Pearl in that movie by the end, because we're pretty much back to
That
where we
movie-
started with Pirates of the Caribbean 1.
I don't even understand that. That movie makes literally no sense. Okay, it's not getting to the land of the dead. That's the problem. It's getting out of it. Oh wait, never mind. We just have to tip a boat over. Oh well. I guess I kind of exaggerated that. Like seriously, it's like they made that up as they were writing.
Maybe
Pedro,
it's with the-
that's because they were.
Well, in that case, there you go. It's apropos then.
Huh. Suddenly that explains a lot of problems with that plot now.
Like that
that's
movie's
why-
a fucking mess. It's a fucking
That's why.
mess.
That's partly why I'd rather watch Pirates of the Caribbean 4. It's not perfect, I know, but at least it was finished when they filmed it.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. I mean,
All right. There you go. So now we have. Let's see where we gotten to for our detour. Let's see.
You are here.
Fortunately, we can cut through the park and the building right in front of it, and we'll be able to reach the hostel. So fortunately, we're not that far. All right, so should be smooth sailing from here, right, guys? Oh,
Let me guess.
listen.
The path gets cut off and we have to go the long way around.
No.
Because don't you just love that in video games?
no, Dwebs. Instead, we're going to meet some people.
Are they
You know what,
interesting
just-
people?
No, but they're people.
I just realized something. Game that takes place in one city, you go to different areas, but you constantly go back to a location. This really is becoming a Resident Evil game now that I think about
I
it.
thought you were going to say Breath of the Wild. Or something.
What?
No. It's more so becoming a Resident Evil plot. I think a good example would be Resident Evil
Oh.
3. Ow.
And
Ooh,
Ellie's
ru-
dead.
right in the shoulder. No, it's not enough to kill her, but it is enough to really do a lot of damage.
Being impaled with an arrow will periodically damage. Wow. Thank you, game. I didn't know being hit with an arrow would damage me.
Well, to be fair, Dwebs, what they mean is that they're trying to warn you that from now on your life will gradually decrease. That's what they mean.
Yeah, but I know that getting hit by an arrow.
Well,
of course,
well, they need to explain how the mechanics work, Dwebs.
Okay. To Dwebs' credit, they probably should have worded it better rather than just periodically, because periodically that kind of sounds like just any other bout of damage here. Like they probably should have said.
Go ahead.
They probably should have said something like, "Oh, it'll drain your health over time," to differentiate it from the other bouts of damage.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost as bad as that line. It's almost as bad as that line in 06 where Sonic says, "Oh, they won't hurt me individually, but they'll cut my rings bit by bit."
Anyway, these are the Seraphites. They're an evil religious cult that is going around killing people because, according to them, that way they'll be set free, blah, 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 blah. If you've seen they're literally every generic suicide cult you've ever seen. Like, this is...
This game can't... This game... From what I've heard, this game can't even do, LGBT stuff right. What hope does it have of doing religious stuff properly?
Well, Dwebs, what if I were to tell you that the two concepts were going to clash?
Dwebs, that technically, considering this is a fictional religion that they made up for the game, not an actual real one, technically there is nothing to get wrong, I guess.
Let's be honest, Pedro. It was kind of obvious what they were hinting at with that supposedly fake religion anyway. Like, it's such a caricature, like, what, is this a Japanese-made game now?
Well, it's owned by a Japanese...
It's owned by Sony.
So...
They're Japanese.
Okay. Here's the thing, Dwebs. The Japanese games that have a lot of, religion is evil plots in them, especially JRPGs. But they never go out of their way to, have a religious cult constantly pursue the protagonist. Go ahead, Jova.
Yeah, here they kind of do it, and let's just say here, Far Cry does it better. Yes, I am complimenting Ubisoft over Naughty Dog with how shoddily they write this group. Let me put it like this. It could not get any more cartoonishly evil than it does in this game with how this religious group is. Like,
they just go around and kill people because that's
what evil religions do.
Because according to them, Dwebs, it's okay. This is even later on. Dwebs, we're going to learn from two Seraphites that defect because they no longer agree with the group's out, because apparently, according to those two, again, you have to take their words for this, because for all we know, they themselves are also misinterpret shitting. We never actually read those scriptures, those original scriptures that they quote. According to them, it's gotten to a point where they've lost their way and they've completely misconstrued the original message of the prophet.
That's right. It's one of.
So basically, it's one of those. They're doing one of those things where, no true Scotsman type of deal. Go ahead.
Not only that, but
I love those.
Here's the problem. We're hinted that supposedly the Seraphites lost their original way. Here's the problem. We're never told jack squat about what the original way or what the true way was supposedly. It's just, they used to be good, but they lost their way. We're not even told it. On the tell versus show spectrum, this is one of the worst cases of telling over showing. We're constantly told stuff, and at that, we're not even told enough. Like, if you're gonna tell us, at least tell enough. At least Final Fantasy XIII gave us the data log, and God, I can't believe I'm using that in positive comparison, but at least the data log was there to give you full-out explanations when the game in story failed to. That is not an excuse, mind you, but it was more than what this game gives us. It's like, you might as well just tattoo it on your chest, religion is evil, and all religion is stupid, and yada, yada, yada. Except then they have the two members who apparently were good, so what are you trying to tell us? That religion can be good, but it's just corrupted?
That's a thing, Jova. Those two quit their religion in general. So apparently, yeah, it is meant to be that you should stop having religions and shit. Apparently that's the idea. Yes.
Like, and that's the thing. Religion is not just supposed to be like this big thing that you can quit or whatnot. Oh no. Oh, and before anyone says otherwise, don't get me wrong. Yes, you can technically quit a religion and take on another religion, but the way the game treats it, you think that religions were just big old clubs or whatnot that you can just quit right now. Like there's some big country club that you can resign your membership at. And don't get me wrong, I get that some religions may feel like that, but here's the problem. The religion is apparently a completely original religion for this group, and like I say, it's pretty obvious they're trying to take their pokes at, a lot of the typical big bad religions, quote unquote, without really saying it, which I'll admit kind of feels a bit cowardly, but I guess maybe to some people may feel better, but I digress.
They didn't want to piss people off, so they decided to make it fictional to make sure they don't piss anybody off in specific.
And guess what? They still pissed people off because it was so thinly veiled at it.
Whoop-de-doo.
And again, like I said, this group doesn't even really matter in Ellie's side of the story here. It's more Abby's side.
There you
of
go,
the
Joe.
story that matters.
There's the swear word, since you were asking for it.
How did you come to that conclusion?
I read the script.
Well, Jova. She already knows that the Seraphites are fighting against the wolves, or WLF if you prefer.
No. I get that, but what clues are in that this is a different faction of people? Like, she didn't see like a logo coming in or whatnot.
True,
All
but
she
they're
knows-
dressed differently though. They all dress with that robe, so.
Well, so what? Maybe they're dressed differently for different environments or different parts of the war here and there.
I don't know, like.
Just saying, like, when we figured out who the WLF were, that was because we were attacking them in buildings marked with their symbol here and there. Just saying, there's a bit more assuming than,
Let's see.
actual information gathered.
Lake Hill Seattle Hospital, I think this is it. Watch for big red signs. Scars. Fuck these people. Stay focused on why you're here.
So, basically, Ellie, you said F almost everyone, so...
So you're telling yourself to fuck off?
Yes.
Oh,
Fuck
well,
everybody.
Honestly,
Including me.
she might as well by the end of the game, honestly.
Going back to an earlier topic, it's like that Twitter account, fuck every word, and it's just a different word every post. Ellie runs this account, probably.
Okay, guys, so you ready to deal with
She
this
resurrected Twitter after the apocalypse just to do that.
All right,
So let's pray to God that our actual goal is in this building for once and hasn't left us off in the dust again.
Let's see.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite tropes in media. You go on a quest only for that quest to be pointless.
Like, the whole Mario, your princess is in another castle thing is something that even Nintendo themselves have kind of left behind for more, they're more when they're doing strictly just a throwback to it in like classic Mario games. And hell, even then, in the latest new Super Mario Brothers game for the Wii U, even they forgo that old Princess Peach is in another castle and subverted that. Yet, why does it feel like we're reverting to that in this game?
Trading card. Doppelganger.
Because
there
we
you
need
go.
a way to make this game last more than 2 hours.
So,
Hey, why are you nude?
a classic shape. Well, it's a shapeshifter job, I remember. A strange being of unknown origin. It is alabaster-skinned humanoid with yellow eyes. Is capable of assuming the shape of anyone you need him or her to be. The only catch: they need to make physical contact, of course, with the person you wish them to impersonate. The resemblance is near perfect, though if you look closely, you'll see their eyes give a glint of yellow after the transformation. So if you ever see a friend wearing sunglasses at an inappropriate time, you'd best be on your guard.
Hey, why are you wearing sunglasses at night? You must be the doppelganger! Shoot him!
But no, he just has an eye condition.
To be fair, the trading card said be wary, not immediately shoot on sight. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, Joe, but for all you know, they might be blind or have some other eye
Yeah, I was going to
condition.
say, don't start shooting blind people.
Oh god, can you imagine blind people coming under suspicion whenever people are looking for the doppelganger?
You know, well, I mean,
Well, technically, all they would have to
actually,
do is take their sunglasses off to check the eyes, because
yeah, I
but
mean, you could do
Pedro,
you could do all sorts of tests, like how many fingers am I holding up?
but notice,
If
Pedro,
they
it
can't
didn't
tell
say-
you, then they're not the
The doppelganger.
because how do they, because they won't know they're blind. All they did was just touch them and take their form.
Huh.
Exactly.
There you are. Useful facts for once by Dwibs.
But Webs, what if it's a blind doppelganger?
Oh
Or
snap!
then the
Well,
doppelganger is amazing at their job.
I guess that would technically mean that their eyes would never glint yellow because they're blind.
Well,
Uh,
I mean,
know.
I mean, some blind people still have, pupils and irises and all that. They just don't work.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I think the doppelganger's eyes, from what they're saying, are yellow naturally, kind of.
I guess.
Maybe they might be a paler yellow or something. I don't know. We are discussing this over the game.
Yeah, yeah. This game is so fun. We're actually having more fun talking about
Dwibs,
Discussing
in
the
the
lore
Dwebs.
of these trading
game.
card superheroes.
Dwibs. How many times do I have to tell you? We don't use that word in here, goddammit! We do not use the word fun.
You know what, Neil? Okay. You know what? Okay, you know what, Neil, Hallie, and whoever else wrote this game and said this game isn't supposed to be fun. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you to a SpongeBob song called F-U-N.
I mean,
Well,
to be
fuck
fair-
you, Neil.
And you actually no, because Neil would actually take the plankton bit of the song as the real bit.
I mean, to be fair, we are friends who are doing stuff together. There's you and me and all of us here, and
And
anywhere,
it's for no survivors.
When you're playing Last of Us Part 2.
pretty much, because oh yeah, a lot of people will die in this game.
Well,
That's to be expected, even if the story wasn't shit.
that's not no,
Okay,
that's
okay,
not
okay,
that's not
okay,
necessarily
okay.
a bad thing.
Let me
It's
rephrase
just-
this. A lot of characters that you actually know and want to survive will die in this game.
Again, not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, again, it's all about compare this to let me use an example. The death of Tess in the first game, where the game specifically made it so that her death actually meant something. She stood her ground to allow Joel and Ellie to escape, and
Admitting, of course.
and she has been bitten, and she wants to die fighting. She does instead of turning into one of those things, she wants to die fighting in it, and it helps to buy them some time, and at the same, and it's a really good send off that gave the death meaning. Whereas, let's just say when Jesse dies, he will not have that luck. Let's just
Damn
say.
it, Pedro, spoilers, but yeah,
Well,
there's-
actually, Jova, she recalled that Jesse was gonna die in part 1, so
yeah, but
Yeah.
I forget if we confirmed it though.
I did.
So anyway, join us next time where we talk about more stuff that's more fun than this game's plot.
You know, that just shows how memorable this game is. I'm forgetting stuff we did during this playthrough.
We fought Seraphites. We found the Stalkers. That's about it.
What?
Alright.
Great
No.
accomplishment today, guys.
See you
All right.
next time.
See you next time.
See ya.